Sziasztok, mindenkinek! Hello everyone, my name is Christine, and I am the host here at the Hungarian Heritage Podcast, the show where we connect your modern life to your Hungarian heritage. We will build bridges between Hungarians who live in Hungary to those with Hungarian heritage who live in all other parts of the world. Not to mention the bridges that we will build between the generations. This podcast is a place where everyone is welcome, where you don't even need to be Hungarian or speak Hungarian to join in on the fun. We will talk about all of the things that we love about Hungary, the Hungarian people, and the Hungarian culture, as well as the cool things Hungarian people are doing around the world. We will discover new things, review things you may already know, and we will have a lot of fun along the way. So, if you're looking to make that first connection to your Hungarian heritage, or you're looking to dig a little deeper, then you're in the right place. Join me as we grow this community and continue to connect the circles of Hungarians around us. Welcome to this episode of the Hungarian Heritage Podcast, where my special guest with Hungarian heritage will be the Rubik's Cube. For this very special episode, I will be sharing 50 fun facts as 2024 is the 50th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube. The most difficult part of this episode was narrowing down all of the information to just 50 facts, as there is so much history and so many statistics related to this world-famous puzzle cube. We're going to start off with some basic facts that many of you will know, but as we progress our way through all 50 facts, I am sure you will be surprised at some of the information about this famous puzzle cube. And if you were a kid in the early 1980s, you will definitely remember when the Rubik's Cube burst onto the world stage. I'm sure, like me, many of you received one for a gift at some point during your childhood. The big question is, were you able to solve the Rubik's Cube? Make sure to listen until the end, because if you are able to solve the Rubik's Cube, you will find out just how elite your status is on a worldwide scale. Even if you've never solved a Rubik's Cube to date, present company included, this episode will end with another very special Hungarian heritage milestone. Let's get this Rubik's Cube episode started with some basic facts about the Rubik's Cube. For our first set of Rubik's Cube facts, we're going to start out slow. So you might know some of this information, but as we go forward, I think you will find that you will learn some new things that you didn't know before. Let's get going. 1. The Rubik's Cube was invented by Ernő Rubik in 1974, who was a professor of architecture at the Budapest College of Applied Arts, who also loved puzzles. 2. Rubik invented the cube to help his students understand geometry and spatial relationships. 3. When Rubik first invented the cube puzzle, it was made from wooden pieces and was also originally called the Magic Cube. 4. It took Ernő Rubik over 1 month to solve his original prototype wooden cube. 5. The original cube is a 6-sided puzzle with 9 squares on each side of the 6 colored sides, totaling 54 surfaces overall. 6. After the prototype, the standard colors of the Rubik's Cube became red, white, green, blue, yellow, and orange. 7. There are over 43 quintillion possible configurations of the cube. For example, 1 quintillion is equal to 1 billion billions, or 1 million trillions, or 1 followed by 18 zeros. Now multiply that by 43 to get 43 quintillion possible combinations. 8. With 43 quintillion possibilities from any configuration, the cube can be solved in 20 moves or less. 9. The first cube, when it was originally called the Magic Cube, were only sold in Hungary. 10. According to Rubik's interview with Europa in March of 2016, Rubik had difficulty finding a company to manufacture the cube due to the, and I quote, the planned economy of communist Hungary in 1974, end quote. Rubik did, however, find a small company that made plastic chess pieces, and from there, he was able to manufacture the Magic Cube. 11. The Magic Cube was sold in Hungarian toy shops between 1977 and 1980. 12. In 1979, Rubik's business associate, Tibor Lotzi, brought the Magic Cube to toy fairs in major cities around Europe and New York, and it was purchased by Ideal Toy Company when the toy fair was in Nuremberg, Germany in 1979. 13. Ideal Toys immediately changed the name from Magic Cube to Rubik's Cube. Before manufacturing, Ideal Toy Company tossed around a few other names as well, like the Georgian Knot and Inca Gold, but finally settled on naming it after the puzzle cube's inventor, Erne Rubik, hence the Rubik's Cube. 14. From 1980 to 1983, 200 million Rubik's Cubes were sold, and in 2024, it is estimated that there have been 500 million Rubik's Cubes sold worldwide. 15. Due to the Rubik's Cube's initial fame and popularity, the cube was on the cover of some notable American magazines, such as Scientific American in March of 1981. In September of 1981, the Rubik's Cube shared the cover of People magazine with the iconic female rock star Pat Benatar. 16. The Rubik's Cube was also on the cover of another famous magazine, but it deserved its own number because it was on the cover of this magazine 3 times, and that was Time magazine. First on March 23rd, 1981, then it was also on the cover on December 3rd, 2001, and then again on May 23rd, 2011. 17. During the height of the Rubik's Cube craze, there was even a cartoon made about the Rubik's Cube called Rubik the Amazing Cube, and it aired during the Saturday morning cartoon lineup in 1983. For those of you who know what Saturday morning cartoons were back in the 80s, if you know, you know. 18. The largest Rubik's Cube can be found in Knoxville, Tennessee, standing at 10 feet tall with each side measuring 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. This giant cube was originally built for the World's Fair in 1982 as an entrance sculpture to the Hungarian pavilion of the World's Fair. After the fair, it was donated to the city of Knoxville, and it currently resides in the Knoxville Convention Center. The cube, however, does not rotate. 19. Now, the largest rotating or functioning cube can be found where most things are larger than life, and that is in Dubai. This rotating and fully functioning Rubik's Cube can be found in Dubai Knowledge Park, and it was erected in 2023 to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Dubai's Knowledge Park. The cube itself measures 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters on each side, which is equivalent to 9.8 feet per side. Therefore, a drop smaller than the Knoxville cube, but yet more realistic since it rotates. 20. Florian Kastenmeier of Mindelheim, Bavaria, Germany, holds the world's record for the largest collection of rotating puzzles. The Guinness Book of World Records confirmed in 2022 that Kastenmeier owns 1,519 different Rubik's Cube style puzzles. 21. The first guide ever created about solving the Rubik's Cube was written by a 13-year-old named Patrick Bossert in 1981. This guidebook sold over 1 million copies. 22. In 1981, 3 of the top best-selling books on the New York Times best-selling list were books on how to solve the cube, one of which was Patrick Bosert's, and the other 2 were Notes on Rubik's Magic Cube by David Singmaster and The Simple Solution to the Rubik's Cube by James G. Norse. 23. Not to be left out, Ernő Rubik himself wrote 2 books about the cube as well. The Rubik Cubic Compendium, published in 1987, and Cubed, The Puzzle of Us All, published in 2020. This next section is going to focus on cube competitions and speed cubing. 24. The first Rubik's Cube competition was organized by the Guinness Book of World Records, and it was held in Munich, Germany on March 13th of 1981. Juri Froschl set the record by solving the cube in 38 seconds. 25. The first Rubik's Cube World Competition was held in June of 1982, and of course it was held in Budapest. There were competitors from 19 countries for this first World Cubing competition. First place was taken by Min Tai from the US, who solved the cube in 22.95 seconds. Second place went to Gus Razus Schultz from the Netherlands for solving the cube in 24.32 seconds. And coming in third place, Zoltán Labusch from Hungary, who solved the cube in 24.49 seconds, which was only about 0.2 of a second behind the second place winner. 26. As soon as the Rubik's Cube was mass-produced and sold worldwide, the cubing community already started to communicate with one another, to share stories, puzzle theories, exchange cubing moves, and also to create a community of people with like-minded interests. According to the World Cubing Association, which we will talk about soon, the earliest archived communication about the cube can be traced back to July of 1980, when the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, otherwise known as MIT, cube lovers set up a mailing list to communicate with one another. It's important to remember that in 1980, it was a time when email services on the internet was at its early stage and not generally in the home or most businesses. 27. An important note to Rubik's Cube lovers and communication about the cube is that between 1983 and the mid-1990s, according to the World Cubing Association, communication about the cube subsided as its popularity waned during this time period. But with the popularity, availability, and affordability of home computers, and let's not forget the internet in the late 1990s, communication about the Rubik's Cube was once again becoming active, and so were the speed cubing competitions. 28. Soon after home computers and the internet became standard in homes, or mostly standard, the World Cube Association was founded in 2004 by Ron van Bruckham of the Netherlands and Tyson Mao of the United States. Their motto and mission for the WCA, or World Cube Association, was to have more competitions in more countries with more people and more fun, and mostly under fair and equal conditions. They believed if competitions were going to be held worldwide, then having a level playing field and common guidelines would ensure that cube competitions would be organized and conducted under strict and fair review. 29. In its first year, 2004, the World Cube Association organized and recorded 12 official Rubik's Cube competitions worldwide. And 20 years later, in 2024, there have already been 1,486 competitions this year, and there will be 424 to come in this year alone. That's 1,500 total competitions worldwide, and that's just for the 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube. For this next set of facts, we're going to focus on the people who've won cube competitions, so let's get started. Number 30. There have been a lot of people who've held the record for the fastest time solving a 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube. And in the past 20 years of the World Cube Association, those people have held the title by beating the time of someone else or beating their own time. There has been someone who has stood out on the world stage and has either beat someone else's time or his own time, and he is listed on the WCA website for beating the 3x3 cube record 23 times, and that is Felix Zemdegs from Australia. Felix's fastest time to solve a 3x3 was 4.22 seconds. Number 31. The current record holder for the fastest time recorded for solving a 3x3x3 cube is Max Park from California. He set the world record in June of 2023 by solving it in 3.13 seconds. 32. Max Park is certainly an incredible cube solver, and he's not only the world record holder for solving the 3x3x3 cube, he also holds the first place titles for solving the 4x4x4 cube, the 5x5x5 cube, the 6x6x6 cube, and the 7x7x7 cube. And all that information can be found on the website of the World Cube Association. Number 33. Max Park and Felix Zemdegs, although competitors for the fastest time, are actually great friends, and together they run a cubing camp where people can train, receive instruction, and feedback about their cubing skills. It's nice to see that friendly competition and solving the Rubik's Cube has brought people together. Number 34. The last incredible cube solving record that we're going to talk about is held by Sean Patrick Villanueva from the Philippines, who solved the 3x3x3 in 2024 in 6.05 seconds. How is that a world record, you ask, since Max Park solved it in 3.19 and Felix Zemdegs has solved it in 4.22 seconds? Well, that's because Sean Patrick Villanueva solved it one-handed. Pretty impressive. 35. But there is a faster solving score than Max Park, Felix Zemdegs, and Sean Patrick Villanueva. And that, of course, is a robot. Robots can solve the Rubik's Cube in under 1 second. But look out, because I think Max Park is catching up. 36. The World Cube Association has estimated there have only been 50,000 people who have solved Rubik's Cubes in an official Rubik's Cube competition. I imagine that number is higher for all of the armchair cube solvers that are solving the cube at home. Now, what would a list of fun facts about the Rubik's Cube be if we didn't talk about all of the things that are Rubik's Cube themed that you can purchase? None of these things are sponsored by the Hungarian Heritage Podcast, but they are pretty cool. So I'm going to tell you about all of the things you, with a quick search of the internet, can find that are Rubik's Cube themed. 37. As you can imagine, there are all kinds of wearable apparel, from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, socks, you name it. If you can wear it, there's a Rubik's Cube themed thing for you to purchase. 38. There are also many brands of sneakers that have the Rubik's Cube theme. Nike, Skechers, and Puma, to name a few. I know for a fact there is definitely a pair of Rubik's Cube themed sneakers in my house that I have purchased for my son a few years back when he was super into solving the Rubik's Cube. 39. They have even come out with Rubik's Cube Heeley sneakers for you to purchase. Heelys, for those of you who don't know, are the type of sneaker where the wheels pop down in the back or near the heel of the shoe, hence the name Heelys. If you know, you know, as they were all the rage in malls and open spaces a while ago, and now they're back with a Rubik's Cube theme. Number 40. You can purchase personalized Rubik's Cubes with pictures of people you know or really anything you want to place on the 6 sides of a Rubik's Cube. 41. You can purchase party gear with the Rubik's Cube theme. You can purchase party favors and all the party-themed goods for a Rubik's Cube birthday party, even a Rubik's Cube piñata. If you're attending a party, they even have Rubik's Cube wrapping paper too. 42. If decorating your home or one room in your house is something you're interested in doing, then you can purchase rugs, lamps, curtains, pillows, bedding sets, and even household goods. 43. Don't forget the walls when you're decorating because they have artwork and clocks too. 44. After you're done picking out your Rubik's Cube outfit, you can purchase Rubik's Cube themed watches and jewelry to accessorize your look. 45. If you're into decorating your Crocs, you will be able to find Rubik's Cube gibbets, those little decorative pins that you put in the holes of the Crocs on the front of the shoe. 46. Don't forget your phone. Although I haven't come across an actual Rubik's Cube phone, they do make phone cases for you to decorate and keep your phone safe. 47. In addition to all the styles of Rubik's Cubes, from 2x2 all the way up to 9x9, there are also Rubik's Cube games that you can purchase, such as Rubik's Cube Gridlock, Rubik's Capture, and Rubik's Cube Cage, to name a few. 48. The most expensive thing you can purchase that is Rubik's Cube themed, and that's to say, if it's even for sale, is the most expensive Rubik's Cube. In 1995, in honor of the 15th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube, Diamond Cutters International created a commemorative Rubik's Cube called the Masterpiece Cube, and masterpiece it is. This spectacular cube was made from precious metals and different colored gemstones on each side, including diamonds, emerald, rubies, blue and yellow sapphire, and amethyst. This masterpiece cube is also fully functional as a Rubik's Cube, but at the whopping price of $2.5 million, it's probably best to just admire it from afar, as I am sure it is well protected by the "you break it, you bought it" principle. "49. If you are someone who has solved a Rubik's Cube even once, even if you can't solve it in 3.13 seconds, like Max Park, or it took you well over a month, like when Ernest Rubik first solved the prototype of his magic puzzle cube, then you are in a special company of people. Maybe your time hasn't been recorded with the World Cube Association or the Guinness Book of World Records, but many sources confirm that if you can solve a Rubik's Cube, then you fall within the 5.89% of the population on the earth that can solve it. So kudos to you, whether someone showed you the steps and the algorithm for solving the cube, whether you purchased a book to learn the method or watched a YouTube video. No matter the method, you are among the elite. And finally, we get to number 50. Last but certainly not the least, not only did the Rubik's Cube turn 50 years old this year, Ernest Rubik also celebrated a milestone birthday when he turned 80 on July 13th of this year. Happy birthday to the Rubik's Cube and happy birthday to its inventor, Ernest Rubik. Thanks for joining me today on this special episode of the Hungarian Heritage Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the 50 fun facts to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube and also the 80th birthday of Ernest Rubik. I am sure that Ernst Rubik had no idea his magic cube prototype in 1974 would grow and maintain such an iconic worldwide status. Don't forget to check the show notes for information about the Rubik's Cube facts in this episode and where you can find even more information about the Rubik's Cube. If you have feedback or questions about today's episode, or you would like to connect with me at the podcast, you will also find my email and social media information and podcast website in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this episode and you're interested in learning more about this Hungarian heritage community that we are building, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to hear from you. Our theme music is Hungarian Dance by Pony Music, used with special license from Envato Market. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts so we can continue to connect our modern lives with our Hungarian heritage and grow this Hungarian heritage community. Until next time, goodbye everyone. Sziasztok mindenkinek!